Assalamualaikum everyone. So for today I'm going to explain again the errata regarding question number 33 and question number 34. Okay, so hopefully you are aware about this question. We want to find what is the equation for the given sinusoidal graph. So for question number 33, you are given this graph and then we need to find the amplitude, its period, and also the phase shift, okay, from the given graph. So for the amplitude, it will be very easy to find since we can measure the highest peak in this graph. Okay, the highest peak here, or you can measure here, or you can measure here. Okay, so this is your amplitude. Your A is equals to 1. The next is for the period. For the period, you can measure for one complete cycle. We will take this shape, okay, the sine graph with negative amplitude. So we have for the 0.5 plus 2.75, which equals to 3. And we can always remember that for this period, the formula is 2 pi over absolute value of b. Later on, we will find what is this b. It means that for this one, it is equals to 3. And for, okay, so we settle for b first. Here we can find your b is 2 pi over 3. Okay, 2 pi over 3. Next, for the phase shift, if you look at this graph, the phase shift is measured from the y-axis up to the starting point of this graph. So we need to know what is the value here. For the phase shift here, it is negative 0.25. Okay, negative 0.25. So we can write, okay, just now we have amplitude, it is 1, period, it is 3. And then for the phase shift, it is negative 0.25 units. Okay, this is for question A. Next, we move to question B. So for question B, now we want to write the equation in the form of A plus A sine Bx plus C. Y equals to A sine Bx plus C. Where your A is less than 0, just now we obtain this is negative 1. B is greater than 0, just now we obtain B is 2 pi over 3. Okay, B greater than 0. And here, we need to find the least positive real number of C, which is the smallest number of C, and C must be in positive real number. So what is C? From the phase shift, we know that the formula is C over B, right? So whenever we have Bx plus C, here it means that Y equals to A sine Bx minus negative C. Okay, minus negative C. So from here we have to let negative C over B equals to negative 0.25. So just now we already have our B is 2 pi over 3. So negative C over 2 pi over 3 equals to negative 0.25. And then you can solve to find what is your C. Okay. So to find what is your C, you can look at this calculation. Okay. So we'll have our C now is a positive real number. C is pi over 6. Okay. C is pi over 6, right? Next, for question B, y is equals to negative 1. This is our amplitude. Just now we have negative 1 sine 2 pi over 3 here. This is the value of B. Okay, we just substitute. And then plus, and this is the value of C. Just now we already calculated. Okay, so this is for question number 33. Okay, clear? So here, make sure when you want to calculate for the phase shift, include also the value of negative C over B. It is caused by this equation. Okay, because we need in terms of plus, so we have minus C. So we have negative C over B will be negative 0.25. Right, this is for number 33. Okay, then now we move for question number 34. For question number 34, we want to find the amplitude. We measure the highest peak from this sinusoidal graph. So this is your A. A is equals to 0.5 or 1 over 2. And then for its period, okay, we can measure from this starting point up to this point. You'll have one complete cycle. Okay, so for this one, we have one complete cycle. One complete cycle. Okay, up to this point. So after we measure, we look at the x coordinate here and also here. Okay, so this is the halfway of negative pi over 2. So it means that here we have negative pi over 4 or 45 degree, negative 45 degree. And here we have, this is pi over 2. So here we have, this is 3 pi over 4. Right. 3 pi over 4. Yes. Okay, 3 pi. Let me check first. This is 0, 45 degree, which is pi over 4. This is 2 pi over 4. This is 3 pi over 4. This is at 0, negative. Yes, the length of each subinterval is only pi over 4. So for the period T, we have pi over 4, okay, for this area, plus 3 pi over 4. So we have here 4 pi over 4, which will give you pi. So this is the duration for one complete cycle. And the next is, we want to look at its phase shift. Phase shift, remember, we have to measure from the y-axis. Measure from the y-axis. So this is our phase shift. Phase shift here is negative pi over 4, right? So for negative pi over 4, when we substitute with negative C over B, because in the second equation, second question, we want to find in terms of A cos Bx plus C. C must be positive. So that's why we need to use the formula negative C over B, and it is equals to the negative pi over 4. Okay, we know that this graph is shifted to the left by C over B. Okay, shifted left. Shifted left. And then when we calculate, find the value of C. Okay, so just now we already have 2 pi over B is equals to pi. Then you can solve to find what is B. Then you substitute here. Okay, then you can have negative C equals to negative pi over 2 times 2. So we have, this is the value of C, where C is the least positive real number. Okay, must be least positive real number. Okay, then we substitute into the formula, which is y equals to A cos Bx plus C, because the formula was in terms of plus C. Then you substitute. A just now is a positive 1 over 2, and then B we have positive 2, and C we have positive pi over 2. Okay, so this is the answer for question number 34. Okay, so now how do we know that we need to find the phase shift, either it is positive or negative? It depends on the question. Initially we have this is y equals to a cos bx minus negative c. Whenever you have minus negative c, here it will indicate that the graph shift to the left. Shift left. When it shift left, so we need to choose from the given graph the shape of the cosine graph which it shift to the left. Okay. Somehow student will ask, Madam, can I start or can I choose this kind of graph? Okay, let's say the student asks to start from here. Still cosine graph, right? Still cosine graph, but he asked to start from positive pi over 4. Okay, let's say this one. Okay, stop here. Maybe here we need to extend this on. Okay, stop here. So if it start from positive pi over 4, what will happen? The phase shift here will be positive. Phase shift is pi over 4, and for the formula, it will become y equals to, look here, the amplitude is start from negative region or negative y value. So we have the amplitude is 1 over 2 just now, or 0.5. Since it start from the negative region, so we need to put negative here, and then 1 over 2. Okay, next we have here, this is for the purple graph, this one. This is cos b just now remain the same. Just now we obtain b is 2, right? B is 2, yes, 2x. This is 2x, and then minus, okay, when we calculate for c, whenever your phase shift is positive, pi over 4. Okay. Let's say here this is c over b equals to positive pi over 4. Then you'll have c equals to pi over 4 multiply with 2. So we have here pi over 2. This is when we want to use, or the question asks you to write in the form of a cos bx minus c. Here where your c is the positive real number. So we need to choose your c is pi over 4. C over b pi over 4 and c is pi over 2. Then you substitute 2x minus pi over 2. Okay, let's say this is for question C. For example, I will add here. Write the equation in the form of y equals to a cos bx minus c if your a is less than 0, b is greater than 0, and c is greater than 0. Okay, additional question. Okay, hopefully you can understand the difference between question B and also question C. Okay, look carefully which graph that you need to crop. Okay, which graph that you need to crop and find the equation. Okay, so that's all for this errata. Thank you.